On today's show of Any Given Thursday, we are going to break down the latest MLB hot stove, the rumors, the top free agents available. But hey, we want to gauge the audience. We just asked some of you guys live, but now we're asking again. Like this video if you want more baseball content. We can only go based on what the audience tells us. If we get a lot of love on this video, a lot of views, a lot of likes, a lot of subs, hey, we can do some more videos for you guys. Easiest way to show your support for baseball, like this video, and hey, maybe we'll do some more MLB videos. Okay, we're going to get to the top 20 remaining free agents in a second, Chase, but get us caught up on some of the big moves that have happened early on here in MLB Free Agents.
A couple of big ones to get to. Jeff Passan tweeting this out the other day that right-hander and former New York Met Noah Syndergaard and the Los Angeles Angels are in agreement on a one-year, $21 million contract pending a physical. You're probably asking yourself, why just a short-term deal for Noah Syndergaard? Dealt with a lot of arm troubles the last couple of years, Tommy John to be specific, but from 2015 to 2019, a World Series run sprinkled in there. He was an excellent pitcher. Big-bodied right-hander who throws really hard, 47 and 30 during that span. He was a workhorse, too, alongside Matt Harvey, 716 innings pitched, a 3.31 ERA, also a strikeout machine with that overpowering fastball that could reach triple digits, 775 Ks during that time as well. From one elite pitcher to another who is a shoo-in for the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, that is Justin Verlander. His brother, fittingly, Ben Verlander, breaking the news on Wednesday that Verlander's going back with the Houston Astros. Harrison, I know this is your squad, and back in 2019, threw a no-hitter, was old then too, and is still old, but had one of the best single seasons that we've ever seen from a pitcher. These numbers, straight up filthy. Now, Verlander signing a one-year deal to go back to the Astros as they try to chase another World Series.
Player option on the second year.
Player option on the second year. Had a workout in front of some scouts a couple weeks ago and was throwing 95, 96 after undergoing elbow surgery. But in 2019, this goes to show you what he's capable of. 34 starts, 21 and 6, 223 innings pitched. What I find crazy here, 300 Ks in those 223 innings and a 2.58 ERA.
He got re-energized after the Tigers fell apart. Of course, that infamous waiver trade for Verlander. I should say famous because the Astros won a World Series. Controversial or not, he definitely was a big deal when Houston got him in 2017, and then you just saw the numbers for 2019 when they lost that year in the World Series as well. Coming off a World Series run for Houston, they get their ace back after he did not pitch in 2020. Also, Eduardo Rodriguez, he's heading to the Detroit Tigers. Former Astros manager A.J. Hinch trying to invigorate his culture in that roster. 5 years, about $80 million. So Rodriguez getting the bag from Detroit.
What's interesting, too, is that the Tigers are undergoing a rebuilding process. They give Eduardo Rodriguez big money, and I think Carlos Correa, the free agent shortstop, mega superstar, I think he could go to the
Detroit's
Tigers
a dark
as well.
horse.
Dark horse for them to land him as well.
Yeah, A.J. Hinch and Correa have a really tight-knit relationship. One more, Brandon Belt, qualifying offer, 1 year, $18.4 million. Has he accepted that?
Yes, he's going back to the Giants.
Back to the Bay. He will stay with San Francisco. Let's be honest, he's never playing anywhere else.
No.
Brandon Belt in a
he's
different
a perfect
uniform,
Giant.
he would be very, very look a little weird in a different uniform. It's like when Bumgarner left to go to Arizona. That
Weird.
didn't make any sense.
Just didn't fit.
Didn't fit.
No.
Whatsoever. He's not chugging 5 beers in Arizona. I'll tell you that right now. So we'll get you caught up on the top 20 remaining free agents, but we got some gear available for you guys. So when you go to the link below, chatsports.com/MLB Gear, that will take you to our sponsor's website, Fanatics, and you can just click on your favorite team and go search for different gear. We got hats available for all 30 MLB teams, jerseys available as well. We got t-shirts. Are you a Braves fan, you want to rep your World Series squad, you can certainly do that as well. All these different styles, a lot of them available for different teams, and tons of other gear as well. Socks, you can get pinstripe type of pants and jerseys as well. All kinds of different gear is available for you guys at chatsports.com/MLB Gear. That link will be in the comments. It'll be in the description. So check that out because the holidays are almost here. We're going to bring in our producer, Jack Lauderay, who is maybe the top baseball head here at Chat Sports. People are talking here, Chase. Jack, I know you're fired up to talk some baseball. You were leading that watch party a couple of months ago. Big free agency pool this year. Should be fun.
Yeah, and I think that this is a really compelling class of free agents because the last few years it's been a little underwhelming.
For sure.
You know, we had like Trevor Bauer last year, a few other big names, but we got like 20 guys or 20 to 25 guys that we're going to talk about
like
today.
30 deep for sure.
It's really, really impressive, and we're going to get into these guys right now.
All right, let's start breaking them down. We alluded to Carlos Correa. You could argue him, Seager. Those are the top two. Certainly Max Scherzer down there, Chase. But Correa and Seager, you're talking big money. Correa has already turned down a 5-year deal from Houston for $32 million per year. What does that tell me? He wants an 8 to 10-year deal. So we'll see if Houston's willing to comply. I think he's going to be elsewhere. Teams in the mix, Yankees, Tigers. I think the Dodgers could sneakily get in the mix. Any others that stand out as a possible fit for Correa?
Those are the teams, and it's funny because Correa kind of dissed, I should say, Derek Jeter and his defensive ability with the gloves, saying, yeah, he shouldn't have won any of those gold gloves. It'd be funny if Carlos Correa is then a ladder replacement for Derek Jeter. I think the New York Yankees could go with a short-term option there, but the Yankees are always in play because they're very aggressive. The San Francisco Giants, according to some reports, not really overly impressed with what Kris Bryant did in the outfield and at third base. He was just okay, but with the Chicago Cubs, he was awesome. He's going to get big money either way. A little bit weary of paying Max Scherzer big money because he was complaining about a dead arm in the playoffs. He's also 37 years old right now. Trevor Story, another intriguing name.
I'd probably do what the Astros did with Verlander, 2 years, $50 million for Scherzer with a player option on the second year. He's still worth 25, 28 per year, but you can't give him more than 2 years. I mean, he's 37 years old. Story, a big shortstop class with Correa and Seager. We look at those two guys side by side here. The regular season stats certainly benefit Seager on this front, but Correa, Chase, been one of those guys that come playoff time, postseason, he's one of the clutcher players in the last 10 years or so.
He's so clutch, and I like the age for both of these players. Corey Seager has missed some time the last couple of years because of a variance of injuries. I'm siding with Correa here. He's got the postseason experience. He's so clutch in those moments. He's awesome with the glove. So too is Seager. But I think Correa is better with the glove than Seager. He's a natural-born leader. And when it comes for postseason time in October, this guy always rises to the occasion and plays excellent baseball defensively and offensively. The numbers speak for themselves. 279, 366 OBP, an OPS of 850, which is solid, 26 jacks, 92 ribbies. So it's kind of a competition between these two guys. Who will go where, but also who is the best? Your opportunity to hop on board and join the show. And if you're new to us here at Chat Sports, we're a very interactive YouTube channel, so we love hearing from the audience. Pick one among these two. Type CS for Corey Seager, CC's for Carlos Correa. Get those votes in right now. Jack, what do you think?
Yeah.
Give me Corey Seager.
He's a Seager guy.
Look, it comes down to the numbers for me. And I know that the numbers aren't everything. I know you got the eye test, things like that. I'm looking at the strikeouts here. Carlos Correa last year, 116. Corey Seager, 66.
Yeah.
And if you looked at that,
games, but still.
Yeah, and if you looked at the comparison, Seager had better numbers as well. Now I get it. Correa is an electric player. He is clutch. He does great things in the postseason, but Seager does as well. He had a few clutch hits in the postseason, and he's got the potential to also be a leader, but he's not asked to be that on this LA team that is stacked. I mean, I would take Seager in this situation, but that's just me.
You can't measure the juice Carlos Correa brings.
That's what I'm saying.
To a stadium. I mean, H-Town becoming a baseball town the last 5 years, largely due to Correa's energy. I truly believe that. You can't measure that stuff. Look, it's close. I mean, they're both great players, and they're going to be paid handsomely because of that. But it'll be fascinating to see how this plays out. Unlike years past, Chase, players are signing quickly here. I mean, what was the year? Dallas Keuchel didn't sign until mid-June.
Yeah.
The middle of the season
Bryce
a few years ago.
Harper didn't sign a couple years ago, 13 years, 330 until the start of training camp.
Yeah, let's get these signings done so we can talk about them here on Chat Sports, which is why you should subscribe. We told you guys, like the video if you want more baseball coverage. We're no stiffs. We're no frauds here. We're doing it all here at Chat Sports. Subscribe for more videos. 270,000 subs is just around the corner. The link is down below, youtube.com/chatsportstv, and we'll keep you guys up to date with the latest around the NFL, NBA, college football, maybe some baseball if we get a lot of subs on this video, so this is your chance. We'll go a little quicker as we get to some of the little lesser names. Marcus Semien, again, another middle infielder. Chase, you got Javi Baez at shortstop, which Some are high on, some not so much. Who stands out of this group that also includes Robbie Ray, Kevin Freeman, and Kevin Gausman as well?
Well, for me, it's Freddie Freeman. Look, I know he's 32 years old, but this guy is on track to make it into the Hall of Fame, and all he does is produce. And he helped produce for the World Series champion Atlanta Braves, able to win that World Series for the first time since the mid to late 90s. And his numbers over time have been excellent. He won the MVP 2 years ago in that COVID-shortened season. I love Freddie Freeman, and I love what he brings to an organization from a cultural standpoint. For me, Javi Baez is far too streaky. I still think Freddie Freeman has a lot of gas left in the tank. Last year, 300 average, OPS of 896, which was down from that MVP campaign, but still very good. 31 jacks, 83 ribbies. When this guy is at the plate, I'm always a believer he's going to be able to come through.
So what do you guys think? Because a lot of big-name free agents that could or could not return to their current teams, Correa, Freddie Freeman. Will Freeman return to the Braves? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I'd like to see it. Atlanta has a little bit of a window here, Chase, where they can maybe string together a couple of runs. They didn't even have Acuna this year. I mean, imagine if he was available. So type Y for yes, type in for no. Will Freeman return to Atlanta? Let's get to this next grouping here. Marcus Stroman is a name out there. Our good pal Nick Castellanos as well. You got Starlin Marte, Kyle Schwarber, and a fly to left field from Nick Castellanos. If you know that quote, it's an all-time
legendary
call. Carlos Rodon as well. Where are we at with this grouping? I think Schwarber might be the biggest name, but who could have the most impact on a team next year?
Well, Stroman's been excellent for the Mets as a starting pitcher the last 2 years since they traded for him, and he's a wonderful athlete, a Gold Glove caliber pitcher as well. Nick Castellanos is a stud, and he's been a stud for the last few years. He's just somewhat under the radar, other than that Tom Brenneman quote that was infamously said a couple years ago because he plays in Cincinnati. And then Kyle Schwarber, great postseason moments for the Chicago Cubs, helped win that World Series for the first time in a long time, more than a century. But last year with the Nationals, he signs with them in free agency. He goes off. His power numbers are crazy. He was excellent for the Red Sox after the Nationals were sellers. And you're looking now at two outfielders in a race kind of like that shortstop race that we talked about earlier with Correa and Seager, with Castellanos and Schwarber. Two different players. Schwarber more of a power hitter and more of a boomer bust player, whereas Castellanos has more of the average there, batted 300 last year. Schwarber's also a little bit younger, but it's the variance in Schwarber that kind of concerns me. It's the consistency with Castellanos that I really like. Let us know which one you'd pick.
These are definitely both win-now guys, around 30 years old, so you're thinking, okay, 3, 4, 5-year deal, bring them in, let's try and make a run. Type NC for Castellanos, KS for Kyle Schwarber. We'll bring producer Jack Lotteray in here. Give us some analysis on some of this grouping of free agents.
I think this duo is the most intriguing duo of position groups in the entire free agency. Because, Correa is obviously the biggest name. So him and Corey Seager, I know I had my hot take, but Correa is obviously the better, but they're very evenly ranked. And I think the thing with Schwarber, and I'll say, watching the Red Sox a lot last year, he's starting to really find his footing. And obviously he was great in Chicago. He was really good in Washington last year. But when he got to Fenway, he was starting to get his groove.
Short porch
you know what
action.
I like about him too? Seizes the big moment.
Yes.
He's played in front of Chicago. He's played in front of Boston fans.
He's got some of that Correa juice.
He's got that swagger and that juice that I really, really like, especially if you're giving him big money.
And that stuff matters in the postseason. Look, in game 132, who cares? I mean, it's not a big deal, but those are postseason type of players. That's why I might lean Schwarber over a Castellanos because Castellanos is playing in Cincinnati.
Yeah. I'm going Castellanos over him.
Okay, yeah. All right. We'll see.
I'll be the outlier here.
We got 5 more to go here. Clayton Kershaw, obviously a huge name, but hurt in the playoffs. There's a lot of questions about how much he's got left. Kind of feels like an old 34 Chase. A lot of mileage on that arm. Michael Conforto as well. Chris Taylor, maybe the best utility player in baseball. Can play infield, can play outfield. You got Anthony Rizzo. And, hey, you can look at the age of Nelson Cruz if you want. The guy is still a beast. I mean, the guy just hits bombs every single year. It's incredible.
He's going to have to stay in the AL because at this point he can primarily play DH. He can't really play out in the field. And what's crazy, Nelson Cruz 51 homers away from 500. So I think that has motivated him to play and hit like he did last year, but to also play maybe 2 more a year. So if you're an AL team looking for a DH, maybe you're not even in that winning picture. You sign Nelson Cruz, you know that he's going to launch bombs.
Yeah.
51 homers away from 500. Borderline Hall of Fame career, even though there was some PED speculation there. Very interesting with him. And then another name to keep an eye on, it's Seiya Suzuki. Last year in Japan, 319, 436 OBP, and a 640 slug. Ooh. That was the slash line last year. He's in his late 20s. He's expected to be available as a free agent, working out for some clubs. So he's not technically listed on our top 20 free agent list that we put together. Is a name to keep an eye out on because he's a very good outfielder.
Yeah, we'll get Suzuki in the copy. Don't you worry about that. Who's your favorite MLB free agent? It's a good group. And remember, like the video if you want more baseball videos.